Jeremy, you kick it off.
All right. Brandon, first I'm going to ask about the stash. What's behind the stash?
I don't know. I just had to switch it up a little bit. Bring some excitement.
Just want to ask, Tony Peterson, obviously bringing a new kind of offense. What's been the biggest change, or what's been the experience so far?
Yeah, Coach Peterson is a guy that's, he's really attention to detail oriented kind of guy. He brings juice, and he's going to let you know when you mess up. So I think the biggest thing transitioning to Coach Peterson is his attention to detail, taking care of the football and not turning it over. He really brings that to light for us quarterbacks.
And Brandon, he's talked a lot about asking for more out of you vocally. What were those conversations like with him, and how have you kind of approached that?
Yeah, going into camp, he kind of went back to his recent years at Marshall. Chad Pennington is a guy he brought up to me and how vocal he was as a quarterback. And, he was just kind of explaining to me, you can't expect to be a successful quarterback and not be vocal. In these off-season workouts and through the spring ball, he's really pushed me, to bring a little bit more vocalism out of me. So, so far it's going good, but, I still have, steps to go.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brandon, what's the quarterback battle been thus far in camp? What's it been like?
Yeah, me and Isaiah, Matt, and all those guys, we're taking the reps as we get them. They've been pretty even so far between me and Isaiah. Getting the 1s and the 2 reps is pretty much even split up. But your reps are limited throughout practice, so you got to make the best of them. And I think as far as personally for me, I've done what I could with my reps, and Isaiah has really improved as well throughout this camp. So iron sharpens iron. We're both getting really good, getting really good coaching. So sky's the limit.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, I'm curious about your comfort level being under center. Probably been a while since you've done a lot of that and play action, play fakes, things like that. How are you adjusting to some of those things?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it really wasn't anything new or something I had to get used to because I did some in high school and also at Michigan, my 3 years at Michigan, we did, especially my first year, my freshman and redshirt freshman year, we did a lot of under center stuff. So for me, I just had to knock the rust off a little bit, but I really haven't had any problems with that.
Would you say you're more comfortable in a shotgun, just surveying the field as you take the snap, or are you comfortable in an offense that maybe have you under center sometimes?
Yeah, I like an offense that kind of mixes it up a little bit because when you're just in shotgun all the time, I feel like, there's not a lot of things that you can do. So when you get under center a little bit, it opens up the playbook. You can do a little bit more play action, a little bit more things with the ball to hide it from the defense. So, from my perspective, it kind of helps me as a quarterback, playing the quarterback position, to keep the defense on their toes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Brandon, hope you're doing well. Tony Peterson has kind of a track record a little bit of guys who he got, senior year, in your case, super senior year, who he's helped get pretty big seasons out of them for 1 or 2 years. How quickly did you look into that? What have your conversations been like with him? Like, are there parallels that you can draw between, I know you mentioned Chad Pennington or some of these other guys that he's been in a similar situation with?
Yeah. He mentioned, I can't remember his name. He was a Florida, was it Driscoll?
Jeff Driscoll, yeah.
Transferred, at La Tech. He's kind of brought his name up to me a few times, kind of like comparing the situation with him to me. So, he got him for 1 year, and I'm pretty sure he's still in the league right now. So, I mean, he's definitely done some good things as far as developing quarterbacks and, you know, making them transition into the league pretty well. So, you know, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great teacher. And I also think he's a great motivator and someone that you can talk to as well. So I'm really excited for it.
Is there anything you can point to and say, okay, I think maybe this is why? I mean, I know you don't know like the previous parts to some of those other guys, but where you can say, okay, maybe this is why he's had success with guys as a senior. I mean, have you been able to identify possible common threads?
I don't know, but as you know, what I could say about Coach Peterson is, like I said early on, you know, he's really attention to detail kind of guy. And experience does help when it comes to Coach Peterson's offense because, you know, he likes to move through a little quicker. You know, he teaches it one time, and if you make a mistake once, he expects you to get it right the second time. So, I mean, I guess a little bit of experience does help. But again, like I said, he's a great teacher. He's going to coach you through it. And he's not really the type of guy that's going to sit there and scream and yell at you. But, you know, he expects you to do it right.
And if I could get one more with regards to being more vocal, like this mechanics you can practice, right? Like you can throw a ball however many times, but like, how do you practice maybe bringing that more out of you? Is there anything you can do?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you can practice. But I mean, I think it's more something that's inside of you. How bad do you really want it? How bad do you want to be great? How bad do you want to win? That kind of mentality. And when other people see that, you know, they kind of latch on, especially at the quarterback position. That's what you need. Your teammates will feed off of that. So I think the biggest thing for me is just, you know, I think I've done a better job of it over the years, but just coming out of my shell a little bit more, you know, taking advantage of those situations when they're in practice so that they carry over to the game.
Appreciate it, Brandon. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have you down for this is your fourth scheme that you've had to learn. Is that right? Since you've entered college, is it 4 or 5?
2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Yeah.
So when you sit down and you're learning your 5th scheme in college, do you have to wipe your mind clean, or can you go back and go, okay, I know this because of what I learned back when? What's the balancing act there?
Yeah, you can. So you can definitely, you know, use that memory bank for what you've learned in the past. I would say taking the reads, some of the reads are very similar to, you know, different playbooks, whatnot. I'd say the biggest difference is verbiage, alignment, shifts, motions, that kind of stuff. That's the biggest part is getting those down. And once you get those down, start learning the concepts and stuff, you can start connecting it to what you've learned in the past.
Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon. Excuse me. Hey, Brandon. Good to see you. Excuse me. Sorry about that. As far as trying to prove yourself maybe to a new staff, I know we're talking about this being more vocal, but just overall, considering how often you played under Lovie Smith's staff, what was your approach coming in here to trying to prove yourself to Coach Bielema and his staff?
Yeah. So, when I talked to Coach B on the phone before he knew that I wanted to come back, I just told him, I just need a chance, Coach. I just need a chance to prove myself. I've always believed in myself and my abilities. So I've never questioned that in any moment. So for me, I just wanted to come in here and do the best I could do. And the biggest thing coming into spring ball for me was just execute the offense. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that so far. But, you know, there's still a lot more I need to build on.
And we're talking about the vocal side again, but from a mechanics perspective, I asked Isaiah about something that was brought up to us it was either Coach Peterson or Coach Bielema about kind of a small hitch in Isaiah's throw. Is there anything from a mechanical perspective that you've really been working on with this new staff that they've brought up to you at all?
Yeah, one thing that Coach Peterson brought to light to me was sometimes because of the inverted C or whatever, but sometimes I get a little bit off balance in my posture a little bit, which makes me a little inaccurate. So when I'm following through, I sometimes like lean back and like lean to the left a little bit instead of staying just upright. And also with my left foot, sometimes I don't point it directly at the target, but like a little bit left of it, which also makes me a little inaccurate. So, little things like that things that you got to be thinking about every individual period, even just warming up. So, yeah, they've definitely seen the little things.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
Hey, Brian, good to see you again. You had such a messed up last year in terms of being sick and all this stuff. Are you glad to have Mulligan? Glad to have a do-over?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm really blessed to have another year to play football because who knows what my career would have been to if I didn't have this another year of football to play. So I'm really excited with what Coach B is putting together here. It's been really fun so far. So I think the sky's the limit with this staff, and it seems like all the players are loving it too. So I can't speak for them, but just the vibe around the building, it just seems a lot better.
How would it have felt to end with last year? To go out with that kind of year and all the things that happened. How would that have felt for you? Pretty unsatisfying, I assume.
Yeah, that last year definitely left a bad taste in my mouth. It definitely wasn't the year I was hoping for. Anyone expected, especially for me personally. But everything happens for a reason. I believe that, and I've been blessed with another chance and a new staff to prove myself once again. So, yeah.
And as this spring, last thing is this spring confirmed your thought about doing this. Are you happier after seeing how this thing's going to work about what your decision to come back?
Yeah, I'm super happy with it. It's been really fun with Coach B. He's made it really fun. Coach Tank has made it fun in the weight room. Guys are getting a lot better, from the mental side to the fundamental side. So, yeah, again, I'm really excited. The guys are getting really good coaching. They're buying in, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
Thanks, Brandon. Great talking to you again.
Yeah.
Brandon, I just had a quick follow-up. How often, or if ever, do you go back to thinking like, okay, I have another year, I have another chance? You talked about like the little things like your foot and the C on your hand. Like, do you zone in more on those things just because like this other chance is, I think we all hope once in a lifetime, but like, is that you at all?
Yeah, are you thinking like, sorry, can you like rephrase the question?
I just like, how often do you go back and think like, man, I have another shot at this, like another shot at my last year? Is it something that's on your mind frequently? Does it push you day to day, or is it like, okay, I've got it now, I'm just going to move forward?
Yeah, it's definitely something, that's on my mind. It's my last shot for sure. Hopefully, because I really don't want to do a seventh year, but 7 years in college, man, I'm done with the academic stuff, and I'm going to finish it out strong, but 6 years is enough for me. But no, thinking about this being your last year, you got to buy in, buy all into, whatever you're being taught. And for me, it's definitely about the little things, because from the, playbook wise to the fundamental wise, I've got most of it down, but when you're thinking about the grand scheme of things, what little things can I work on, to maybe get the ball 1 yard more accurate so the defender doesn't get his hand on it. And that's shown up in practice a little bit because I have my foot just a little bit inside, or I'm tilting just a little bit. So if I can clean just the little things up one by one, it can mean that much more.
Appreciate it, Brandon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Brent, I just want to ask you real quick about Isaiah. I know he's your competitor, but you've had 2 years in a quarterback room with him, and it feels like, he's had to prove himself as a quarterback at every level. What have you seen from him, or what have you learned about him through 2 years?
He's a super hard worker. He's a very coachable kid, and he listens. He takes good notes. He transitions things from what we learn in drills to what we do in the scrimmage. So, and he's a great teammate as well. He's a really good kid. I think Isaiah is going to be a great player. But again, just like me, he's got little things he's got to work on, and he does it every single day. And like I said, iron sharpens iron. He pushes me every day. I push him every day. But I think Isaiah is going to be a hell of a player, and he's definitely going to be an older guy that guys look up to on this team.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Quickly, Brandon, do you have any plans to go work with somebody privately this summer, like you did last summer?
Yeah, I'm actually, I think in early May, I'm going to go out to Arizona again and have 3 or 4 days with Kurt Warner.
When you do that, do you know, say it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what you're going to be doing, or do you kind of like to just show up and have them kind of mold you as that kind of work? Is there a plan there once you arrive, or do they kind of run you through what they want to run you through?
It's kind of a communication effort. What are your weaknesses? Communication, what do you need to work on? What's going to make you a better player? And then also just learning from, a guy that's done at a very high level and, what has made him successful, and kind of pick and choose the small details that I want to incorporate in my game, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't say there's a defined written out outline of what we're going to do, but, definitely get some work in.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, Isaiah, hope you're doing well, man. Just first of all, what are the biggest differences with Coach Peterson and running this offense so far?
Honestly, it's really no difference. It's ball, but Coach Peterson, he has done a great job developing us, teaching us different techniques, such as even taking snaps on the centers, run game, pass game. He's been helping me a lot with my mechanics, so he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, what have you learned most from him? Obviously it's a different offense. So what's the biggest challenge for you, or what have you learned most from him?
What I learned most from him is my footwork, keeping my feet active, drops, handing the ball off, it's the little details that he's very strict on. So all those little details, he's been doing a great job helping me with that.
And Isaiah, you've had to prove yourself as a quarterback for so long. I'm just wondering, with the new staff coming in, is there any change to your outlook or your approach to what you do?
No, it's really no different. I'm just having fun playing ball. It's the same thing as ball. So at the end of the day, I just want to have fun, go out there, be confident. I'm not really trying to prove nothing. Honestly, the biggest thing is, though, I'm just trying to take in what they teach me, because every coach teaches different. So honestly, just the different things that he I got to kind of cater my game to that, but I'm always me. I'm going to be me.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Hey, Isaiah, I hope you're doing well. It's your 3rd year in college now in a quarterback competition. If you could think back a little bit to that first year you came to college and were in a competition, and what do you know now that you didn't know then? How do you handle it, having kind of been through this before?
The biggest thing, like I just stated, is it's a game. So the biggest thing for me is just coming out here, having fun, and being confident, just being a guy, being a leader. That's another big thing with this coaching staff, just leadership, having the guys rally behind you, doing what they want to do, but in one direction. So us being together. So the biggest thing for me is just leadership this time around, and just leading the guys.
we've heard a lot about that leadership of you really dating back to high school. Was there a moment in your life that you kind of realized that was a role you wanted to step into or you were able to step into? And it really doesn't sound like you've looked back from whenever that was.
Honestly, leadership, I feel like it's just something that came. It's never like something that I was like, this is what I'm going to do. It's just something that's kind of in me. Like sometimes I don't even notice it. Like coaches notice it, but it's not something like I try to do. It's just in me.
Is there a time with this coaching staff that they've noticed it that you didn't? Like any one time that sticks out in your mind?
Not really. You know, with me, I just try to do the right things, and hopefully people follow me doing the right things, and that's really it.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah, good to see you. You kind of just maybe hinted on a partial answer to this question, but what do you feel like are some of the biggest things you've shown Coach Bielema, Coach Peterson, and the rest of this coaching staff through the pre-spring workouts, through spring ball so far? What do you think are some of the biggest things you've shown them through your game and off the field as well?
Yeah, like you stated, one big thing is leadership. Just being one of them guys that do the right thing, just work, constantly grinding to become better every day. Another thing I feel like I showed them is my athletic ability, and that I'm a football player. You know, I love to make plays. I love to just go out on the football field and just have fun.
I mean, considering the run you got last season with with Lovie Smith's coaching staff, you were seeing some starts, seeing the field a lot. What was your thought process going into this new coaching staff? As far as was there any concern for you maybe about trying to have to impress a whole new group of people again, or how did you approach that?
I really just approached it like just get better one day at a time. You know, I'm not in control of this thing. You know, God in control. So whatever He got planned for me, I'm just the one like out here doing the work. So I'm not really putting my focus into them type of things. I'm really more focused on just getting better every day, doing the right thing. And, you know, it's going to show to the coaches. I wasn't really like I got to impress them guys. It was just, I'm just going to be me.
And you mentioned your footwork being one thing you feel like you've improved on with this staff. Have you seen any change in throwing mechanics at all? Because I can't remember who it was, if it was Coach Bielema or Coach Peterson, who mentioned maybe you had a little bit of a hitch in your throw that caused the ball to maybe sail on you sometimes. Have they made any work with you, any adjustments with you on that?
Yeah, every day he's on me about that. You know, we watch film, we correct it, and then individual drills, we just attack it every day, just trying to, you know, become the best I can mechanically while still being myself.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Hey, Isaiah, how you doing? What's the quarterback room like? How you guys all getting along? Everybody friendly? Are you all helping each other? Tell me what kind of day what it's like.
Yeah, we all friendly. Like them, my guys. One thing we do a good job with is helping each other and, you know, giving each other keys. Like today I was having a conversation with Brandon Peters, you know, about mechanics, and, you know, he had good insight for me. So it's like little things, like we help each other. Same thing with Deuce, Karan, Matt. Any way we can, we just try to help each other, uplift one another. You know, if somebody have a bad play, come on, bro, you good, next play. All we try to do is just uplift each other, because if I can make him better, I can also become better. I can also become better. So it's a great guys.
You guys are all in the same boat. I guess that's kind of nice, isn't it? That you all kind of learn together.
Yes, sir.
And do you sense that people outside don't know a whole lot about the offense? You're getting questions from friends, from family. What are you guys going to do? Are you getting in that or not?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah. People don't know a whole lot about what kind of offense you guys are going to actually run. Are people outside the program, family members, friends, people on campus, they're asking what you're going to do, or they just figure they'll see it when it comes to fall?
Yeah, they just gonna know we're gonna score a lot of points. That's all. We're gonna score a lot of points. That's gonna be the offense.
Okay, simple as that. All right. Thanks, Isaiah.
No problem.
Isaiah, has any other position besides quarterback been brought to you by this new staff, and the idea of getting you on the field to make plays no matter where you are on the field?
No, sir. Right now, I'm playing quarterback. So right now, my entire focus, everything is going to be on me becoming a better quarterback. You know, I don't know what the future holds, but right now I'm playing quarterback. So that's my main focus, nothing else, just becoming better.
And I can appreciate that. My follow-up would be is if that were approached to you as, hey, we want to put you in this type of a package just to make sure you get the ball and get touches and become an impact player, how would you feel about that?
I'm a football player, so, you know, that's what I love to do. I just love to make plays and play football.
Thanks, Isaiah. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey Isaiah, I was curious your thoughts on Trinity Catholic closing down in St. Louis. It's a kind of a big kind of shock to a lot of people. What was your reaction to that?
I was kind of sad about it because, you know, you do so much for school, and I built, me and my guys, we kind of built a legacy with Coach C. And, you know, your high school, you always wanted to be a place that you could go back home and visit, you know, just have fun. And it was kind of sad that was taken away from me and my guys, and also Coach Cord.
And so do you feel like you're kind of carrying that forward with Coach Patterson here, and, you know, Shamad here and Frenchie here and everybody else? You know, do you feel like this is kind of the legacy of Trinity Catholic?
Yeah, sort of, but we also have guys at different schools. Like the legacy is still going with all of us, the movement. So it's not just really Illinois, but it's all my guys, even the guys that's still in high school. You know, I just hope they also find a place that they can go to that kind of also mess with me a little bit. It's my younger guys, but really it's all of us, the movement. It's more than just the guys that came here. It's like Marcus Washington that went to Texas, Bryce Childress that's at Coffeyville right now. It's all of us.
And my final question is, anybody you ask about you, I'm from St. Louis, and you know, people in the high school scene would talk about you there and here, and people always would reference how much you love the study of quarterbacking, the mechanics, the calls, the reads, everything else. How far back does that go for you of enjoying the position?
It kind of started my sophomore year when I kind of made up my mind that I wanted to play quarterback in college. So that's kind of when it started. And ever since then, you know, the love just grew deeper and deeper.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Hey, Isaiah, just following up a little bit on that. What did you gain in playing last year and playing a lot in some Big Ten games? What did you learn most?
I gained experience. You know, it's kind of different when you out there actually playing in the game. So the biggest thing was experience. And that's kind of it. It's a lot of things you know, just the game kind of slowed down as time went on. So that's one thing, just kind of being in the zone. I learned how to work with my guys better because, you know, a lot last year I didn't get first team reps. So working with the first team, that also helped me in games. So just little things like that.
And when you weren't the starter, how do you go about trying to lead? And how do you try and do that now as you're in a quarterback competition?
One way, like I stated, is you just lead by example. Guys gonna see you doing the right things, and they're gonna see the benefits that come with it, and they're gonna want to follow.
Thanks, Isaiah.
No problem.
Isaiah, real quick here, how do you sum up being a third-year redshirt freshman? I mean, that's probably not something you would have even imagined coming out of Trinity in high school. What's that experience been like?
Truly, it's a blessing. Because it's I'm still a young guy, but at the same time, I done gained experience. I done did it a couple of years, so I know the ins and outs, but at the end of the day, I still have 4 years, so it's a blessing.
And do you approach that in terms of hey, I want to be here all those years, knowing you could have a 6-year career or whatever that might end up with? Like, how do you take a long-term view of that?
I take it as like I'm gonna get better day by day. I'm not taking it as like I got 4 more years. My main focus is like I'm gonna get better every day. I'm gonna take it day by day. And if you take it day by day, then them days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months, and months turn into years.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Isaiah, in our conversations with Tony Peterson, he also seems to really enjoy the study of quarterback like you do. What has it been like, picking his brain, getting to know him, and sharing some of these philosophies with somebody who cares about it as much as you do?
It's been huge. You realize how, like, terminology in the room is a big thing, how we need to talk the same. So, like, a lot of times in a room, we might all see the same thing, but we've been trying to find a way, like, to all say it the same. So that's been a real huge thing in our room as far as, like, film study. And then it's just been great, like, to learn the offense under him and see how he viewed things. Yeah.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Isaiah, for some of the people who might be layman just to basic football, how much of a difference is it for you to now learn a system where you're under center and making a drop compared to what you've done your entire career?
It's a huge difference, but honestly, like, it's been something that kind of helped me a lot. Going under center, I kind of like it better because it gets you moving, your feet up underneath you, so it was a tough transition the first few days, but now I love going under center. I almost like it better than shotgun.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Anybody else got anything?
I got one more, Brett.
Go ahead.
Isaiah, just what do you think you need to do to be the starting quarterback?
I got to become more consistent and that just comes from just putting in the work every day and just being confident. But my biggest thing is just consistency.
Is there anything like physically or most important that you got to improve in your game?
Physically, it's not really nothing. Everything really just mental. Physically, I don't think it's really not too many things that I can't do on the football field. It's just the mental that kind of stop you. So just working on my mental game and just becoming more confident.
Thanks, Isaiah.
No problem.